start this because we know the governor, as always, is on a very tight schedule.
No rest for the wicked.
I'm very tired. I don't know why you. So if you all come on in, we've got some chairs for those who need or would like to seat. Please allow those who need to sit before you do. And Chief Tobry, our chief, and we also have Chief Jackson from Greenwood Village and Chief Tyser from Avon, and villagers and friends. Good afternoon to you all. My name is Doug Tisdale, and it is my very distinct pleasure, in fact it is my privilege, to serve as the mayor of Cherry Hills Village. And my task this afternoon is to welcome you to Cherry Hills. Cherry Hills Village, the #1 best suburb of America to live in. Those are not the words of a boastful mayor. I'm just quoting the Wall Street Journal. As your mayor, it is my privilege to participate in a great many significant events. For example, last night I presided over a city council meeting, and our Mayor Pro Tem, Russell Stewart, is over here, and Councilor Placina Vanderwerf is over here, and we unanimously approved the application by the Western Golf Association and the Cherry Hills Country Club to host the 2014 BMW Golf Championship at Cherry Hills Country Club. On Monday, I had lunch at Pino's Pizzeria, a restaurant here in Cherry Hills Village. Yes, we have 6 small businesses in Cherry Hills Village. That is our commercial district. I like to refer to it as Little Rodeo Drive. And I met there with a future constituent to talk about issues in the village. On Sunday, I broke ground for the expansion of the Denver First Church of the Nazarene for their Cherry Hills campus. On Saturday, I spoke to young people from Cherry Hills and around the region for the dedication of the new Young Voices of Colorado in Arapahoe County. On Friday, I had breakfast with the Arapahoe County commissioners, mayors, and managers, and then that evening, I emceed the Jam Out Hunger Battle of the Bands at the Arvada Center to raise money for one of our regional food banks, and on and on. That's every single day for the mayor. But it's also, and I did that deliberately to remind me, please turn off your cell phones if you have them with you, because I know sometimes people will forget that, so I have someone call me after I talk for about a couple of minutes. But that's a typical day in the life of your mayor. It's a typical day in the life of your governor, and it's a typical day in the life of your representatives. And I forgot to acknowledge Senator Linda Newell, who is our senator here in Cherry Hills Village. But today is something that is very, very special. It's not just one of those groundbreakings or ribbon cuttings or one of the countless meetings that we all go through. Today you have assembled here in this room the leaders of your government. Your mayor, your state representative, your state senator, and your governor. Now, because there are no federal elected officials here today, you are actually privileged to have before you the representatives of the only currently functioning levels of government in this country. All of us, all of these people work together. We cooperate with each other. We collaborate with each other in this region and around the state. And we do that with only one purpose in mind, and that is to serve the citizens of Colorado in the best way that we possibly can in order to improve their lives. And one critically important way that we improve lives in Colorado is by passing laws that are intended to help you, our constituents, to make your lives better. And that's why we're here today. 1 year and 8 days ago, the governor visited us here in the Joint Public Safety Facility. Now back then I mentioned to him that that was actually the very first time that we had ever had a sitting governor do an official state visit to Cherry Hills Village. And I told him then, I hope it won't be the last time. Well, this governor listened, and so he's back. And we're very glad to have him here today. Today, by a stroke of a pen, he effectuates, he implements laws that were drafted by our state representative, and he's also, I think today, done one for our state senator. And they will each tell you regarding their bills of which they are justifiably proud. My job is merely to serve as your host and to make you feel welcome here in Cherry Hills Village and to remind you that your city and your state are here to serve you and to help make your lives better. I thank you for that privilege, and now it's my most distinct privilege to introduce to you the governor of the state of Colorado, John W. Hickenlooper.
So I appreciate your kind introduction, and it's always great to be in such a beautiful building. You guys really outdid yourself. It's nice to have the Senate Bill 1, or House Bill 1, let's get it right, House Bill 1032 and Senate Bill 123 sponsors here. Hardworking legislators as we have. We also have Representative Pete Lee from Colorado Springs, who's up in a demonstration of solidarity on these bills. These bills are designed to improve the functioning of our justice system. And we certainly know that the juveniles who go through our system, for many of them it is a crucial time and defines often whether they're going to go back and be constructive members of our community, or whether they're going to slip onto the wrong track and get involved in crime of one sort or another. I think that's what both these bills are here to do. I traditionally go into great detail about the bills, but then I think what happens too often is they have nothing to say. Therefore, I will first ask Representative Kagan to give remarks. And I know, Senator, you're going to say a couple words?
No, I'm here in support.
You're here in support. I couldn't remember what was your bill now. All right, and then perhaps Chief Jackson will speak then after that. That's all good. All right, Representative Kagan.
Thank you. Members of the public, children across the state of Colorado will no longer go in before a judge in shackles to learn whether they are to be locked up pending trial or released pending trial. They will no longer face that life-changing decision unrepresented and alone because of the actions, Governor, that you are going to take here today. And that is a crucial change. It is the fulfillment of a promise that was made by the Supreme Court of the United States more than 40 years ago, coming to fruition. We have a very good criminal justice system, juvenile justice system in Colorado. I disagree with some folks who say that we have been denying juveniles their constitutional rights. We have not. But we can do more than simply give juveniles what the Constitution requires. We can be better than that. And in Colorado, we are going to be better than that, because we are going to make sure, through this bill, that every juvenile at every detention hearing is represented. It is a giant leap forward for justice. It is a giant victory for justice. And it will be reverberating throughout the state The Front Range already represents most juveniles in detention hearings. But from Durango to Burlington, Colorado, the rural Coloradans, kids who get into trouble and face a life-changing decision, unaided, unassisted, unhelped, frightened, are they going to be steered on the right path, as the governor said, or allowed to slip into a life of incarceration and alienation and bitterness and anger in cases where it is not appropriate to do so? Judges like Judge Jack Smith have been crying out for help making these life-changing decisions so that they can get both sides of the question. Prosecutors have been crying out for help in making the right decisions, arriving at the right decisions in this life-changing circumstance. And of course, parents of troubled children cry out for these decisions to be made with thought, with care, with fairness, with justice, constructively, so that our children who make mistakes, when they stumble, are not then kicked even further into the ground. It's a great moment for our kids. It's a great moment for our state. And I don't want to conclude without talking a little about the process, because I believe that this could have only been done in Colorado, and I believe this could have only been done with the leadership of Governor Hickenlooper. And the reason I say that is I don't think I'm telling any secrets when I say that the bill, as it originally came out of the interim committee that gave birth to this bill, did not meet with tremendous enthusiasm on all sides. I don't think the governor thought that it was quite right. Certainly I know that the prosecutors across the state did not think it was quite right. I have to tell you, even the Public Defender Service didn't think that we'd got it quite right. And what the governor did was he displayed that steady leadership and said, I'm not going to stop this. I don't like it the way it is, but I will give you the chance to get it right. So quietly, you, Governor, allowed us to make this bill better. And that is the essence of skilled, powerful, quiet leadership. And without that, it would not have stood a chance. The other thing I have to say about this bill is that the prosecutors across the state did not like the original version of the bill, and they opposed it quite vigorously. But not one prosecutor ever failed to sit down with me and discuss their concerns. District Attorney Browther sat for hours in his office when he had pressing matters, as we all know, that he was dealing with. District Attorney Stan Garnett invited me to Boulder and spent the morning with me watching juvenile cases go through the system and making his concerns clear. I received nothing but the willingness to listen from all those that thought we didn't have it right. And I wonder whether that would have happened in many other states. If we'd not had Governor Hickenlooper, if we'd not had the District Attorney's Council, if we had not had Tom Raines, if we had not had Stan Garnett, if we had not had George Brauchler working to address those concerns. And that's something uniquely Colorado. It's something uniquely Colorado. The Judiciary Committee Republicans opposed this bill until 3 days before it came up in committee, and we talked with them, and we really got down to brass tacks and addressed their concerns, and I was so proud of my Republican colleagues when they made good on their word and said, look, these are the things that you have to change before you can get our support, and I changed those things, we changed those things, and they were as good as their word. And it got out of the Judiciary Committee unanimously. Republicans and Democrats. Where but Colorado? I don't know. And the beneficiaries are the children and the parents who are in trouble in this thing. Thank you, Kim Borja. Thank you, Doug Wilson. Thank you, Governor Hickenlooper. Thank you, Judge Smith. Thank you to all those who worked on this bill. Thank you to Andrew McCall, who spent hours listening to me in the office saying, I'm not sure whether this should be a collar or a question or a collar. Really, so many people have devoted so much effort to this, and all for the good of our kids. I'm so proud to have been a part of it. There is another bill we're signing. Or you're signing, Governor Hickenlooper? I should say we're signing together. We're collaboratively signing, and that is a hugely, hugely important bill on which so many people have worked so hard. And it is to make sure that not only, as in the first bill, does every child in a detention hearing get a lawyer to make their case, but every motorist who's stopped or on the street and involved, every time there's an incident which involves a chase or a use of a weapon by a police officer, that police officer has training. That's so important for everyone in Colorado to know that the police know what they're doing, they understand the law, they understand the Fourth Amendment, they understand the Fifth Amendment, they understand how to chase a car without killing 25 people on the way, they know how to use their weapon in a way that is not going to cause danger. Those things are things that are only going to be made possible because of the other bill that the governor, I hope, is going to sign in just a few minutes. So I have gone on way too long, but I want to thank all those that have worked to make sure that that police officer training has become reality. It's something sorely needed for the public safety of our state. So I've taken far too long, and I apologize for that, but I just want to express my thanks to everybody who's here today. Thank you so much.
And this is our neighboring chief, Chief John Jackson from Greenwood Village, who will share with us a few remarks now. Chief.
I don't know if I've ever spoken that passionately about anything. I have a great amount of respect, even more today, for those words and your passion, and it is much appreciated. It's very hard to follow three leaders like that speak so eloquently. I'm going to do my best. It almost makes me want to be a lawyer. I'm here speaking today, of course, on behalf of the Post bill that sets standard and mandatory training for law enforcement. I'm speaking on behalf of the entire Colorado Association of Chiefs of Police. And I would first like to thank Governor Hickenlooper for the time to be able to do that. What an honor. We only have to go back to May 8th, 9:10 in the morning, just 12 days ago, to understand the importance of why we're signing the bill that we're signing today. On that day, a Colorado State Patrol trooper who engaged a suspect with his firearm for already shooting another Colorado State Patrol trooper. The incident happened, and he spoke these words: "I didn't even have to think. My training took over." Chief Ticer is here, and his officers investigated that case. His officers are eating lunch with that trooper right now, this very moment, and he's alive because of the training that he received and was mandatorily imposed. This is truly why we're here today. We in uniform are charged with protecting the public. It was Sir Robert Peel in 1829 who penned 9 key principles for policing, of which we live to today. Principle 7 says that the police at all times should maintain a relationship with the public that gives reality to the historic tradition that the police are the public and the public are the police. The public expects that when the police enter into a situation, through that relationship, that we are properly trained and we're properly equipped and we're ready to provide the service that is needed. At the heart of all of these 9 principles is the dependency of the public on the police to provide that service to prevent crime. We can only do that and establish this professional relationship at the core relationship piece through training. Senate Bill 123, now after today, which is law, creates this training obligation. It's a fantastic step forward in moving what most people feel is a job to what I, for 26 years, have felt is my profession. This training allowed Colorado State Patrol troopers, Hofacker and Gosnell, to go home safely 12 days ago. I want to thank Representatives Kagan and Lee for being here, and Senator Guzman for the foresight that they provided and the fortitude that it's taken to make this happen. It has not been easy, and it's not been without personal investment and professional digging in. You are true partners to law enforcement, and I appreciate your commitment. Prior to today, there were 6 states that didn't require law enforcement training. After today, there will be only 5. I had the opportunity to testify in front of the legislature multiple times as this bill traversed its way through the process. It was a great exercise in civics, and I went back to my high school days and enjoyed it very much. I stated multiple times through this process that it was the most important piece of legislation that I've ever testified to. I still to this day believe that. I believe that it will have a direct impact on public safety and the citizens that we serve. I would also like to thank some very specific members of the Colorado Attorney General's office. Assistant Attorney Generals Matt Durkin and David Blake, and the Post Director, who's not here today, Pete Dunbar, have been fantastic partners through this process. All of these people have worked tirelessly to promote and pass this bill to the point at which we're going to sign it today. This would not have happened without these individuals' committed effort. You're all true partners of law enforcement, and again, we thank you for that commitment. In closing, I will say, without sounding overly dramatic, that what we're signing into law today will have a direct impact and an increased professionalism for the law enforcement in the state of Colorado. More importantly, it will reduce the amount of police officers who lose their lives while serving their communities professionally. That equates to less funerals attended. And for me, that is unbelievable. It was an honor both to speak here today, to be witness to this process, and for you to allow me to participate. I thank you very, very much, and I appreciate your leadership.